What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we'll be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XLM to BTC. As always, if you guys are new to the channel or to today's episode, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up if you like the content and want to see more. Furthermore, this shirt is pretty cool. Hopefully you guys noticed I just started wearing these. If you did want to pick these up, I am making not this identical shirt, but similar cryptocurrency Litecoin, especially shirts that will be on my merch website shortly. I do need to put a couple, maybe a day or two. I'll put them up and list them up there. So that's some pretty cool news. Otherwise, as you guys saw in the vlog that I did before, yes, I did get a haircut. Hopefully it looks pretty sharp to you guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. And then getting into today's episode, as you guys saw in the title, we are going to be discussing a couple of things. It's going to be continued from yesterday's Charlie Lee. Litecoin flattening. What does that mean? How does it have an effect with Bitcoin Cash? We're going to discuss that, as well as issues with Bitcoin and its profitability for miners to continue to mine the coin. Otherwise, let's jump into today's episode. Apologize for the late video. I had to get a haircut. No, my mustache is not just here. It is the whole thing. So stop trolling in the comments. Otherwise, it is pouring out today, crazy. So not really that enjoyable being on Long Island. Usually the weather's a little bit better. Otherwise, let's hop into today's video. And for all those who are interested in what my current setup is for YouTube right now for recording my videos, I just want to show you guys really quick what it looks like at the current moment for filming at home back on Long Island. So this is the green screen. As you guys can see here, we have the Yeti Blackout Edition microphone, the fluffy thing to cover to make my voice sound nicer. Same thing here. We have the extended arm right here. We have a beautiful ring light right here with a Sony a6000 camera in there. And then we have my MacBook Pro laptop, as you guys can see here. Otherwise, let's get to it. Market cap. And there's a couple things that raise a flag to me, in a good way though. So Bitcoin dominance is 54.9%. So we're seeing it slightly less than where we were at yesterday, almost down by 0.2%, not by much, but it's down, which shows me that altcoins are gaining strength today. We then see 24-hour volume of 10.4. So again, practically even with yesterday, but we are seeing an increased market cap, up only about 2 billion, but still up. That is an indication to me that, we're correcting, we're moving upwards when you see market cap. When I scroll down, you can obviously see that being reflected in the market. Top 10 coins are all seemingly doing quite well. What we do want to notice, and I did notice a little bit earlier today, Litecoin was actually the #1 gainer out of the top 10 cryptos. It was up 12%, I believe. It's currently up only 9.5%. Bitcoin SV seemingly is up 11.7, which is interesting. You can see how it is kind of tied in with Bitcoin Cash. I wouldn't, blame it, but you can see that Litecoin is still #7, and it is very close to Bitcoin Cash's current market cap, only up by 100 million or so. But taking everything in, Bitcoin is only up by 1% at 3,200, XRP at 28. Let me know if you're an XRP fan below. I do want to potentially start making a little bit more videos on XRP, not pro it, not negative it, but just to give a little bit more information out there, because I do know a lot of people are XRP fans out there. Otherwise, market does seem to be doing fairly okay. A lot of corrections from what we've seen in the past. Not really anything down. Bitcoin Diamond is down. BitShares are down, but for the most part, things are up. Revain is up 24% on the day, probably the #1 gainer. And we see Bitcoin Private. So things relevant to Bitcoin seem to be down, except for Bitcoin SV, which has an alternate on the market, or it flips. Redcoin, what is that? Mixin is up. Yeah, not too bad. Relatively speaking, the market is fairly a positive green day today. Moving on, though, we do have some articles to discuss. So we do have on Bitcoinist.com Litecoin flappens Bitcoin Cash by market capitalization. So what is flappening? I know a lot of you guys are probably like, what the heck is flappening? I know I was confused with what that word meant the first time I heard it. So was it relevant to flipping, flappening? Who knows? Let's discuss that. So February, Charlie Lee predicted a flappening. Obviously, you guys know February is not up, so this is last year, or the previous February we had, which was many months ago, predicted a flappening of Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash before the end of the year. Well, with just 2 weeks of the year left, the prediction came true as Litecoin's market cap overtook BCH, Bitcoin Cash. So what exactly is flappening? So I guess we'll get into that in a couple of seconds. It says, in many ways, Bitcoin Cash was always a more natural competitor to Litecoin than to Bitcoin for many reasons. From its conception, it tried to address several perceived shortfalls of Bitcoin. It says that that Litecoin tried to fill years earlier. Both allow faster transaction times and confirmations, aim squarely at retail sectors to encourage adoption from smaller payments. This is one area of utility that Bitcoin had traditionally struggled with, although the development of the Lightning Network is trying to redress the balance. So while Litecoin had a head start in terms of being first to market, Bitcoin Cash had the weight of Bitcoin branding. It also didn't hurt that the entire Bitcoin user base suddenly found themselves with some after the 2017 fork. So that's why you can see the competition right there. Bitcoin's name, Bitcoin has its branding, Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash has Bitcoin in its name. It sounds a little bit more, realistic, and people might like that better, as well as the fact that, you got some if you held Bitcoin. You didn't just get Litecoin. So that's why it's a little bit, it had a lot more, adoption due to the fact that it was, publicized and almost given out to many people, especially on Coinbase too. So we then said Litecoin advocates have long waited for a flappening. And what the definition of flappening is it combines flippening with Lee's chicken nickname, chicken. So you get flappening, flap, flap, flap like a bird. Creating a website monitoring the situation by many metrics, Litecoin has always been ahead of BCH, but in most eyes, notably those in the coin market cap, the key figure is, well, the market cap, and now we finally, beat that. So that's huge news for the Litecoin market, especially the Litecoin Foundation that I'm a part of. Hopefully you guys knew that in the previous videos. Basically now, I've seen my community grow and be extremely astounded. The second we beat the current market cap, we were all, very happy and appreciative of the work we put into it. So it says, while most assumed that an overtake would occur through gains in Litecoin's price, and ultimately other factors were at play. Indeed, Litecoin creator Charlie Lee complained in September, and the third parties officially suppressing Litecoin price. And what is a flappening effect? The internet and Twitterverse in general seem generally very pleased, congratulating creator Charlie Lee for the achievement, but the flappening had some other side effects. So basically, it says, as news spread, Litecoin price began to spike and shoot up. And at the time of writing, has seen 24-hour increase of almost 12%. Like I said earlier today, we saw 12%. This has boosted its market cap from simply overtaking BCH to being nearly 10% higher. And if we looked at that market, for today's coin market cap, you guys can clearly see that Litecoin and yes, Bitcoin SV do seem to stand out. Things are only up 1 to 2%, but Bitcoin and Litecoin, Bitcoin SV and Litecoin are the only ones that are really almost up double digits, or were up double digits. So that tells you something. That tells you that potentially either Bitcoin Cash's market, crumbled and fell and lost value, monetary value, or Litecoin's community was able to build up enough volume and transaction history that it boosted, the coin up some. So moving on though, we discuss also Bitcoin and the mining profitability and what that effect could have on today's market cap and current, market. So, and then we'll jump into the technicals in a second. So it says, price of Bitcoin falls below cost to mine. It says, to add further misery to Bitcoin enthusiasts, viability of accounting system supporting the cryptocurrency, the volatile asset is now fetching under $3,200. And I know we're currently, I think, above that, but it says off more than 84% from the highs seen during its tulip mania phase of a year ago. At that point in the late 2017, accelerating numbers of people were spending real dollars on computers and electricity to create and uncover the coins using advanced algorithms. As they engaged in then lucrative businesses of mining for Bitcoin, these entrepreneurs were conducting the blockchain transactions, which in fact tell you how much is in their wallets. Obviously, it is still private because you don't know who is attached to that wallet, but you can see that wallet and what they're making in that wallet. It says without mining, the system, which has no Federal Reserve or financial institutions backing it, would cease to function. Bitcoin miner revenues hit $4.7 billion through the end of September, up to $1.4 billion over the first 3 quarters of 2017, reports Dyer, a cryptocurrency bulletin. At the same time, miners have been spending more and more money on sophisticated computer rigs and electricity they devour. Obviously, they're trying to keep moving their, speed that they mine to higher and higher levels with more expensive equipment, and to be able to better themselves. They want to be ahead of everybody else, so they try to put in as much money to make their equipment better than than others. So yeah, it's becoming, less profitable, and that could be an issue at levels like this. This is kind of like make or break. It's either, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue, mainly because if you think about the logic of what's going to happen. So basically, we have these multi-billion dollar, Chinese companies and Korean and Asian companies, some in Iceland too. I forgot exactly what it was called, an exchange that you could buy cloud mining. But there are exchanges out there or companies that you can buy these mining contracts from. So what I see happening is the smaller guys, some guy in his basement with not much money invested into mining, he's going to quit. It's not profitable for him. He can't, there's no point in him doing it. He's going to stop. If I was mining, I would stop. It's not profitable. And a lot of people like this, thousands and thousands of people like this, are going to stop mining. What that means is now these bigger institutions, they're not going to stop. They've invested too much into it. They're going to keep mining. So basically, the smaller guys are going to fall off. The bigger guys are going to stay and play. And when that happens, we're going to see an increase most definitely within Bitcoin's price and probably the rest of the market. We're going to see that price shoot up and move back in. And then I think the smaller guys will get back into it. But it's going to happen sometime soon, if not right now, who knows? But I definitely see that affecting the market in a positive way. As you guys can see, Litecoin did make a nice break, and we were calling this too. So whether it has to do with, pushing the currency, pushing Litecoin hard, what I see happening in a technical sense is, we talked about it yesterday. We have a support here. We drew a line of support. We were holding that, and we were going to say we're going to either break bearish or bullish. We broke bullish this time. You can see we shot up on our 4-hour right up to our high-low MMA and are finding some resistance right there. Will we go higher? Not in the short term. We are nearing overbought, so I do think we're going to kind of consolidate out here. Looking on the daily, though, we do have some good news. So you can see the support is right here. We can move this down ever so slightly. There we go. So you can see support is beautiful right there. We're trading sideways here. We bottomed out here and we're bouncing right back up. You can see we're trading sideways once again on our relative strength indicator, and then you can see with enough volume we shot up a little bit. Are we going to head to the high-low MMA? That's where I'm hoping we go, but like I said, hope is a strong word. So that's where I'm inferring we should at least try to move up to. There will be some resistance at play up at around $34, but if we manage to move up higher than that, we could shoot up all the way to 45, which would be very nice. People would double their money and definitely make out fairly well. We called the bottom being here. I said, this market is so freaking dried up. We are, strung out. We're ringed out. The market is so deprived of volume, and the weak hands have pretty much sold off that people are buying up the currencies at this level. So with enough force, we could start an accumulation phase, which I thought we were in. Currently, we are not. I pretty much called that when we saw the descending triangle form, and we could be entering that accumulation phase now. I called the descending triangle a little ways back, pretty much right around here, back November 18th. Then we broke bearish. You can see on Bitcoin what I'm referring to. You can see on the daily, we have a massive descending triangle form. You can see the volatility slowly settle back down. Back when we had, $800 billion of volume back here, slowly consolidating, volume slowly dripping off.
consolidated in here, built up a lot of pressure. We broke bearish. I thought the accumulation phase was right here when we were trading sideways, and it is. This is an accumulation phase. Actually, we saw this accumulating, trading out, and we were expecting, you know, a bull run that would have looked nicer, but we broke bearish. We fell bearish from here. You can see we're bottoming out on support, trading sideways once again on its daily. We could see a nice bounce, you know, what everyone's looking for and what could potentially happen. Right here, we bounce up off here, and we come to this area, basically where this high-low MMA is right there. The price will then kind of catapult or bounce up off there and retest somewhere in like $45,000 to $5,000 region. It is very possible, and be quite, you know, likely that it will do that sometime in the near future. We're looking at Ethereum on the weekly. Again, Ethereum's been kind of dead right now, kind of slow, so there's not much technical analysis I want to do on it. Today's the last day for this candle in a weekly, and then we're going to close out. You can see we're also oversold on its weekly, so I do think we're going to potentially break bullish from that and shoot up to 288, you know, in the next couple of weeks. It would be very nice to see us break bullish, break out of the downtrend that we're in currently. I'll extend this out once again. You can see what I'm referring to. It'd be nice if we broke this and shot up to that green band on our high-low MMA and retest that. Moving on, though, to XLM, the last coin in today's episode. You guys can see we're seeing that retracement, and that's the interesting thing with XLM. We're seeing this retracement back up to here. That's pretty much where the third point of support was. You can see 0.3 on the Elliott wave. That's where we retraced to. Are we headed lower? There's plenty of potential showing on the weekly. Will we? I don't think so. I don't think it wants to head lower. We could retrace back up, you know, and then continue to move upwards. That's what, you know, is more likely to happen than to continue falling. But it is possible. I don't want to rule that out. Otherwise, that's going to sum up today's episode. If you're new to the channel, guys, like I said, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications. We're going crazy fast. Goal is 10,000 within sometime in 2019, hopefully in the beginning, maybe by my birthday. Birthday is in February, so hopefully we'll shoot for that. I know it's a big leap, but I do think we have the community to do that. So I do recommend sharing. Do help me grow it. I do appreciate all you guys. I try to respond like all you guys' comments. Otherwise, I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. Peace.